Rangers, what a day! Fresh from a huge win over Hearts, we've cut Celtic's lead to 10 points. This title race isn't over yet, but off the pitch, the drama's just as intense. Boyd blasts Clement's excuses live on air. Clement under massive sack pressure. Can he survive? Hamza Igamane responds to Spurs and Newcastle rumors. A Spanish coach declares his dream to manage Rangers. Clement gives a big update on Danilo's injury return. So, who's staying, who's going, and who's next in the Ibrox hot seat? Let's get into it. This one's unmissable. Chris Boyd has made his frustration clear over Philippe Clement's excuses for Rangers' recent dip in form. The Scottish Cup exit at Ibrox to Queen's Park was a humiliation, and the fallout rumbles on. Clement often leans on statistics to justify underwhelming performances, claiming the team deserved victory based on numbers. But in football, only one stat truly matters: the final score. Speaking to Sky Sports on 16th of February, Boyd was blunt. The supporters are still angry, and rightly so. Rangers cannot lose to Queen's Park. No disrespect to them, but this is Rangers at Ibrox. It simply cannot happen. Home form has been solid, but last week's display felt like one of those all-too-familiar away day disasters. It was nowhere near good enough. Clement can throw out all the stats about shots and chances he likes. It's irrelevant. The result is what counts, and Rangers lost. The frustration with Clement is reaching boiling point since Patrick Stewart became CEO. Many expected action, perhaps even a managerial change, but 4 months on, the board's silence has only stoked supporters' anger. Peaceful protests have already taken place, but no action has followed. Clement, meanwhile, keeps digging his own hole with post-match excuses, questionable in-game decisions, and comments that only heap more pressure on himself. Boyd is spot on. Deserving to win means nothing if you don't win. Changes in both the starting 11 and approach should have been immediate, but they weren't. The Belgian remains in the job, likely due to the financial cost of sacking him, and it's driving a wedge between the supporters and the board. That 1-0 defeat to Queen's Park should have been his final act at Ibrox. With Rangers trailing in the league and out of the Scottish Cup, the Europa League is the only bright spot, having secured an impressive top 8 finish in the group stage and a spot in the last 16 where they could face Fenerbahce, Anderlecht, FC Twente, or Bodo Glimt. But first, there's league business. The pressure is immense, and another slip could be catastrophic. So, has Philippe Clement lost the dressing room, or is he simply delaying the inevitable? Philippe Clement finds himself in the hottest of hot seats as pressure mounts over his future at Rangers. Despite the radio silence from Patrick Stewart, the board is sticking with him for now. But let's be honest, from here until the end of the season, it's going to be nothing but a stormy ride for the Belgian. Clement himself admits it's the toughest spell of his career. Reflecting on the fallout from that Queen's Park debacle, he said, "Yes, yeah, it is. And for sure, because of this game, this last game, it's the most freaky one also to lose that game. And because of that, with all the reactions, yes, that's the toughest moment until now, but I'm not running away from it." He was quick to reject the idea that the pressure was something new to him. No, I don't think so. I think it's the same in Bruges, where you need to win every game, but I didn't have freaky results like we had now, and I understand all the anger around that result. But here's the real debate. Should Clement get the same time that Steven Gerrard was afforded? Gerrard took 3 years to get it right, but he had a weaker squad and, crucially, more backing from the board. Clement, on the other hand, had a squad capable of winning a treble last season and bottled it. This season, points dropped on day one, a defeat in the first Old Firm derby, and no Champions League football. It's been an uphill slog ever since. And let's not kid ourselves, once the support turns, there's rarely any way back. Even if he somehow closes the gap in the league, finishing with 0 trophies from 3 competitions would speak louder than any excuse. So, does Philippe Clement deserve the same patience that Steven Gerrard received, or is it time to show him the door before this season spirals completely out of control? Hamza Igamane has made his stance crystal clear. He's happy at Ibrox and fully focused on his journey with Rangers, despite interest from Spurs and Newcastle. Since arriving from FAR Rabat, the Moroccan has been the gem of Rangers' summer rebuild, banging in 13 goals before hitting a rough patch with a 5-game drought. But that hasn't stopped Premier League eyes from watching his every move. Igamane, though, is standing firm. I am happy in Scotland. I have everything I need, and I lack nothing. Rangers have provided me with the perfect environment. I just need to focus on my football. The supporters give me so much love, and that means the world to me. The 22-year-old is clear about his ambitions, development at Rangers, and a call-up to the Morocco national team. He knows the competition for a spot with the Atlas Lions is fierce, but he's ready to fight for it. Every Moroccan dreams of representing their country. I do think about it, but I know it requires excellence. I need to work hard to make the coach want to pick me, maybe for the Africa Cup of Nations or even the World Cup. He also credits his agents, VV Consulting, for their role in bringing him to Ibrox. They offered me the opportunity to come to a club with huge history. I've made a good start, but I know I'm far from my potential. My motivation? Simple. Work, work, work. There's no substitute for consistency. Igamane'S versatility is another feather in his cap. I am a center forward by trade, but I can adapt to different systems. I'm comfortable on the flanks if needed, but of course, I live to score goals. That's what a striker does. So, with Igamane'S heart set on Rangers and Morocco, here's the burning question. Should Rangers cash in if a big money offer comes from the Premier League, or is he too important to let go? Carlos Quar, King Carlos himself, has thrown his hat into the ring for the Rangers job, and you can't help but feel a twinge of excitement. Can you? With Philippe Clement clinging on by a thread after a season of absolute misery out of both cups, including that disgrace against Queen's Park, Quar's passion for Ibrox feels like a breath of fresh air. The Spaniard, a fan favorite from his stellar 2007 U8 season, has just earned his UEFA Pro license and currently manages Real Murcia's B team. His managerial CV may be short, but his love for Rangers is undeniable. Speaking to the Scottish Sun, he couldn't hide his emotions. I wish it was my dream, to be honest. I would cry for sure because it would be one of the happiest days of my life. You can already picture the roar at Ibrox if King Carlos returned. Sure, some will scoff at his lack of experience. Managing a B team in Spain's lower leagues is a far cry from battling for the Scottish Premiership. But let's not forget, Steven Gerrard had zero senior managerial experience when he walked through the Ibrox doors, and he brought the title home. Meanwhile, the supposedly proven names like Clement and Van Bronckhorst have fallen flat. Sometimes it's not about the CV, it's about the connection, the hunger, and the fire in the belly. Quar knows what this club means because he's lived it. And right now, that passion is exactly what Rangers are missing. So, would you roll the dice on King Carlos and his heart-on-sleeve passion? Or is it too big a gamble for a club that simply can't afford another failed experiment? Philippe Clement has provided an update on Danilo's injury, confirming the Brazilian forward is edging closer to a return. Clement revealed that Danilo trained throughout the week, albeit without contact. Full contact sessions are expected next week. The 25-year-old has been out since injuring his shoulder against Aberdeen last month, and you've got to admit, his absence has been felt. But the real talking point up front this season, Hamza Igamane. The Moroccan has burst onto the scene, smashing in 13 goals and providing 3 assists for Rangers. Yet, despite his impressive contribution, Igamane isn't getting carried away. I am still far from my potential. Nothing replaces continuity in work. My margin for improvement is important. It's what motivates me. Work, work, work. and see how far it will take me. And at just 22 years old, he's already showing his versatility. I am a center forward by trade, but I can easily play on the left or right if asked. But of course, my objective is to make the net tremble. A striker lives to score. With Danilo nearing a return and Igamane continuing to grow into a real threat, you can't help but wonder, when both are fully fit, who should lead the line for Rangers, the experienced Brazilian or the hungry Moroccan? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.